Our company is Verox Technologies Company Limited, with our head address at Vedeni Marbos, Kilometer 3, Enugu Port Harcourt Express, Enugu. Verox Technologies is a leading technology company that is based in installation and maintenance of services of all electrical related systems in your offices, homes, and businesses. But today, I want to talk about a section of that electrical services, which is solar energy. We know that the need for electrical energy today is very, very high. The demand for it is very, very high. And many people are going into solar energy. But just like every other thing, there is a lot of mistrust in the business or in the industry. So people are worried of whether this particular source of energy is to be trusted, if it is worthy to be relied on. As someone or a business that have been in this business for about 5 years now, we have enough experience and knowledge to tell you that, or give you the best guide way on how to use solar energy, or the best way to have a solar energy system installed in your homes. First of all, I want to talk about the components of this solar energy. The first component of solar energy system is the solar panels that are mounted on the rooftops or maybe a ground support system, where it is accessible to the direct rays of the sunlight, because we know solar energy is gotten from the light energy coming from the sunlight or any other source of light. But light energy coming from sunlight is the most abundant one to give us a significant amount of energy. Now, solar panels have different types. You have mono, you have poly. People ask why mono is better. Many customers will demand that they want mono panels, monocrystalline instead of polycrystalline. And I've answered these questions on many cases, so I want to answer it here again. Monocrystalline solar panels. The main advantage of monocrystalline solar panels over polycrystalline solar panels is that it is smaller in size. That is, if you have the same wattage of monocrystalline and polycrystalline, the monocrystalline is going to be smaller in size, just about 5% in reduction in size than the polycrystalline. At the end of the day, you're getting the same power from the both panels. Then, in physical appearance, the monocrystalline is always black and has a kind of star white patterns in between them, but the polycrystalline is always blue, and you only have straight grid lines, that is the horizontal and the vertical lines across them. Both panels are very, very good. Whichever one you buy is good. The only advantage there, or the most significant advantage of polycrystalline over monocrystalline, is that it requires a smaller space. So you can install bigger wattage of monocrystalline panels in a given space compared to polycrystalline, but at the end of the day, you're getting the same power from the both of them. So for this reason, monocrystalline is also a bit costlier than the polycrystalline. So at the end of the day, whichever one you go for is okay. Then the next thing is about batteries. Many people talk about why battery is always the weakest point of solar energy systems. The batteries fails. You know, it is the storage unit of this system, because you don't have sunlight throughout the 24 hours every day. So we store the energy we get during the day in the battery and use them at the night when the sunlight is no longer available. So, but the battery technologies as we have them now are volatile in a bit, or can fail, depending on a lot of factors can lead to this failure. And I want to explain some of them. First of all, I want to talk about the different batteries we use in solar energy system now. The most common three is the sealed lead acid batteries and the flooded lead acid batteries. Then the other one is the lithium-ion batteries, which is becoming very popular now. So we have lead acid battery, which is very, very common. We have the sealed one, we call them sealed maintenance-free batteries. And we have the one we call tubular batteries that are flooded. The major difference between these two batteries is that the sealed, you don't maintain it while you use it, but the tubular batteries, you can be maintaining it by adding distilled water as the liquid, the electrolyte inside is dropping because of the electrolysis happening during charging and discharging. Now, the major difference between these two lead acid batteries, remember two of them are lead acid batteries, the major difference between the two of them is that the sealed batteries, you don't have to maintain it. So you just install it and use it when it is down, or when you've used the whole life cycle in it. You don't have to maintain it. But the other one, you are allowed. It gives you an opportunity to maintain the battery. For this reason, the tubular flooded batteries, last longer than the sealed batteries, assuming both of them are of the same quality. The tubular battery will last longer than the sealed battery because of that maintenance that it allows. If the sealed battery lasts 5 years of good backup time, the tubular will last about 7 years. Then let's go to the lithium-ion battery. The lithium-ion battery is a different ballgame because the element used in this lithium-ion battery, the technology is very, very different. Instead of lead and acid that is used in the other two batteries, this one you are using a metal we call lithium, a very reactive metal. So in lithium-ion batteries, which is very common, we see it in our phones and our laptops and many of our gadgets, it is usually less dense. That is, it is not very bulky like the lead acid battery. It's not very heavy like the lead acid. It's still heavy anyway. But the main advantage of this battery is that it has a longer lifespan. Like I said in the other one, you have 5 and 7 years, but with the lithium-ion battery, you can get 14 years out of it. Now, lithium-ion battery are very, very volatile batteries. Because of it, we have what we call BMS inside, battery management system. Even electric vehicles, they have them. They have the BMS. Lithium-ion batteries cannot go without their BMS because this controls the amount of current used to charge it, the amount of current that is being discharged from it. It controls how much you can discharge it and how much you can charge it. It controls the temperature of the battery. If any of these parameters I mentioned now is not within the range that is needed, the battery will shut off, so it will not be giving you any output. It is well protected, and because of this, it's very, very costly, but it gives you a longer time. It is more sleek, that it looks more beautiful when you install them, because it's usually in one container. Yeah, that is, it is packed in one pack. It looks like what we call a power wall. So now, lithium batteries, I will suggest lithium batteries, even though they are more costly, but I will suggest it because it gives you that rest of mind for over a period of about 14 years. Now, the major difference now, or the turn off about lithium batteries is definitely the cost, because it's about twice the cost of or what it will take you to buy the lead-acid batteries. Now, lithium-ion batteries, for example, now let's say a 15 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion batteries, which is equivalent of 6 220 amp-hour batteries. Now, let's go back to that lead-acid batteries. Lead-acid batteries are rated in ampere hours. Of course, all of them, each of them are in 12 volts. So the amount of energy each of those batteries can store, the lead-acid batteries, the highest one, which is the most commonly used one, and which is the one I'm using for this explanation, is 220 ampere hour. If you multiply with the voltage, it will give you the energy storage capacity of that battery, which is about 2,640 kilowatt hour. 2,640 kilowatt hour battery. So if you are going for one lithium-ion battery of 15 kilowatt hour, it is an equivalent of 6 of those 200 ampere hour batteries at 2,640 kilowatt hours. So one lithium-ion battery of 15 kilowatt hour battery is equivalent to 6 of those 220 ampere hour batteries that you know. Now, this one lithium-ion battery will cost you about 1.7 to 1.8 million, depending on your vendor who you are buying from, your dealer. But the 6 of those other batteries at a uniform price of about 160,000 naira each will be less than 1 million. 6 of them, or just above 1 million. So you see, the lithium-ion battery is very much costlier than the lead-acid battery. But the lithium-ion battery gives you a longer years of use because it has more of what we call life cycle, the discharge cycle. How much you will charge and discharge these batteries? How long will you charge and discharge this battery before they will stop performing well? So the lithium-ion batteries is actually better in this aspect. Now, I want to talk about how our company advises customers or clients when they want to, or when we are invited to come and do an estimate for solar energy system. First of all, we start by doing what we call load analysis in your house or your facility. Maybe it could be an office, it could be a factory, it could be your business area, it could be your home also. So we have to find out what and what you are using and the run hours of each of those loads you are using. I advise you which one you should use, because there are some loads that will include in your solar energy system. It will skyrocket the capacity of solar energy system needed and increasing the price at the end of the day. So something like your electric cooker, that is an induction cooker that draw too much power, we might advise you to keep using your gas burners and leave other loads for solar energy. So we'll check all these things, find out which loads you're going to be using in solar energy system, do a load analysis, and come out with a designed system that will serve those purposes. At the end of the day, we will propose a bill that will contain the design system and what it will cost, with all the guarantees that are involved in there. So I might advise you to use lead acid battery. I might advise you to use lithium-ion battery. Most times I go for what the customer chooses, the choice of the customer. Some customers will prefer lithium-ion battery. Some will prefer lead acid battery, depending on how much it is going to cost them. Lead acid battery is as good as the lithium-ion battery, because if you buy lead acid batteries and you get 7 years out of it under good use, you can discard it and get another battery after 7 years or so. Mind you, it's not that after 7 years the batteries are gone forever. It's just that the storage capacities of the battery must have dropped. So when we find out all these things that you need in your home, we will design a system for you, advise you which of these you are going to go with, and tell you the guarantees we give you. Of course, for example, we have a 1-year maintenance plan for every system we installed. We installed on our own, ourselves. Then, at the end of the day, the system will be installed for you and you will be happy thereafter.